Let's build some iron farms in Bedrock 1.13. Hello again, Skunk Monkey here, and today we're going to be introducing two iron farms for the Bedrock 1.13 edition, and these farms will work in 1.12 or 1.13, but I have just designed them, and they, as you can see behind me, they're working pretty good. They both have a very similar design, but a few different tweaks that might work on different worlds. So you guys can try them both out. So let's get designing. Alright, so here we are in a brand new world, and I don't know why, but the ones that I've been designing recently have worked best when I build them over a river. I don't know why, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the very first thing you want to do is grab some sort of a block. You know, we're just going to go with cobblestone because that's the simplest one. And that's infested cobblestone. That is not what I want. Alright, there we go. Nice and regular cobblestone. And we're just going to build up a few blocks. You do want to build this a few blocks in the air because, well, one, you don't want mobs getting at your villagers. And two, you want this to be able to only spawn golems where you want. So the very first thing you need to do is build a platform. This platform needs to be 9 by 9. So let's go ahead and build that. All right, now that we have our 9 by 9 platform, we're going to go right in the middle. And right there, this is where the output for the farm is going to go. So we're just going to quickly grab ourselves a chest and a hopper. And while we're in here, let's grab ourselves a stack of signs and then lava. And all you're going to want to do here is just put in a chest with your hopper, and this is going to be the collection. Let's make sure I went to the right spot. This is your collection for the farm. And then we're going to put a sign right on top of that. One there, one on each side of this one. And then one on top of each of these side ones. And of course, I've got to be perfectly lined up so it doesn't be at an angle because I can't handle it if they're at an angle. All right, and then we're going to want to put our lava right there in the middle. And the cool thing about this design is that the cats do not die, which is actually good for lag. Next thing we want to do is build our walls. You can do it out of any sort of material. I personally prefer using glass because I can see what's going on. So, wow. So you're going to want to build the wall all the way around it. You don't have to do it in the corners, but you can if you want. It doesn't really matter. And we are going to want to build this. That is not what I wanted to do. Let's just do what we want to do, shall we? There we go. You're going to want to build this up about 6 blocks. So what are we at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go to 6 just to be on the safe side. Once you have your walls in place, you're going to want to go over and grab yourself 4 buckets of water and place 1 in each corner. And the water will push anything that falls in here right to the middle. And of course, the cats will just sit there absolutely fine, whereas the iron golems are tall enough that they will get hit by the lava and burn. Next thing we want to do is we're going to want to build the actual platform where the beds are going to be. So we want to come over here like so. And we're going to build this 5 wide and 5 long and 1 wide. And then you can build this out of any material because we're actually going to be getting rid of this. So we'll actually build it off cobble because that's probably what most people are going to be using. And then we're going to build up 1 more layer. And this layer is going to be 5 by 5. And then 1 more layer, and this one we're actually going to build out of glass, and it is going to be 5 by 5 as well. And then if the line that you made is going that way, then here we actually want to get rid of those right there. I'm going to leave these here for now, and you'll see why in just a minute. We're going to want to grab our beds now. You're going to need a total of 22 beds, but for right now, we're just going to put down 10 of them, like so. And then you're going to want to put glass on top of these, like this. 2 layers of glass on top. And once you have that done, this is when you're going to want to bring your villagers in. So you want to bring them in over this way and get them into this spot right here. And you're going to need to bring in 10 villagers, which are what these 10 beds are for. So let's just pretend I brought in my villagers. Now, of course, these do need to be ones that aren't connected to a bed. You're going to want to break the bed, whatever they're connected to, and bring them in here. And you'll get your 10 villagers. And you're going to want to do this at nighttime so that they instantly go into their beds. So time set night. Make it easier for myself. And I don't really want nitwits or babies, so just turn your head away. Because you're going to want to bring in actual villagers, not babies. You want to get full-grown ones. Okay, you go down there. Alright, so once you have your 10 villagers and they're each in their beds, you're going to want to go ahead and break that glass. And then we are going to break this glass here. I guess it could have been out of any material. Place in 5 more beds on each side. And then break this layer here and place a bed there. Break this layer, place a bed there, and then break the rest of those blocks. And you now have 22 beds and 10 villagers, and this is what is needed. Now, when day comes around, the villagers will wake up and be stuck in the glass. They won't be able to go anywhere. And when it's nighttime, they will sleep, and they won't get frustrated that they can't get anywhere. Once you have this part done, now you're going to want to actually build your spawning platform. And I usually actually go up 1 more block before building that. So we're going to build our wall 1 higher. And then we're going to want to build our platform on top of this wall. And then it goes out by 4. Once you have this platform completely made, oh, as you can see, we have a cat spawning. This is a great sign. Once you have cats spawning, you know that you have an actual village. And all it takes is 4 villagers to make a village, but you need 10 for them to actually get golems. Now you're going to want to build a wall around the outside. And this does need to be made out of glass, just so that you don't get any iron golems spawning on top of it. That would be bad. And you don't need it in the corners once again. So there is the design, and this is basically done for spawning. The golems will start spawning on this area, and this is where the 2 different designs are going to diverge. So I have noticed that sometimes the iron golems do not like to spawn in water, and sometimes they have absolutely no care whatsoever. So the very first way that you can try, the easier way, is to put in water in this area. So we're going to add another layer right here. And then on top of that layer, we are going to add some fence gates. And the fence gates need to go all the way around. And once you have all the fence gates in, you do need to open them all up to allow mobs to pass through and water to not pass through. And then go ahead and break these that you put underneath of it. And at this point, you can add your water. You're going to want 1 in each corner. Along with 1 in the spot right in the middle between them. And there you have it. This is design number 1. The iron golems will spawn on the cobblestone and they will fall down. And as you can see, the cats are absolutely fine. And the golems will die in the lava. And I have left this type of a design running for a day and gotten over 6 stacks of iron, which is not as good as the Java edition, but it is still pretty good. Now, if this isn't working, or you'd rather a little bit of a different design, which I personally like a little bit better, you're going to want to go back to where we were before we added the water. And as you can see, there is a golem spawning here. I was just in the process of taking out the water and taking out the gates, and he appeared. So now that we've gotten back to this point and Mr. Golem has spawned, I'll show you what to do next. What we're going to want to do is put one more layer of glass here, all the way in a 5x5 area. And then right here, we're going to put 4 pieces of glass, build up, and what we're going to do is put a skeleton right in here. Before we do that, though, we want to add some trapdoors. The trapdoors will make the iron golem think that there is a viable way of walking across. Now, as you can see, the iron golems will sometimes actually just fall in, and it doesn't really happen that often, but they may just fall in, and he will get pushed into the lava. Don't worry about that. But right here, the trapdoors are now in place. We want to get ourselves a skeleton. And then, of course, you're going to want to name it so that it does not despawn. And whenever I do a farm with skeletons, I always name it bait. So we're going to want a solid block. And there he is. He's dying down there. You're going to want a solid block right here above it so that it does not burn in the sun. So let's just go ahead and get some more cobblestone. Oh, cobblestone slabs. I don't want cobblestone slabs. I want just plain old cobblestone. Stone bricks. That works. And there he is. He's dying down there. So let's put our skeleton in here. Name him Bait. And then get rid of those 2 pieces of glass. Now, this skeleton is trapped. He can't get out. And the reason you can do this is because anytime you'll get an iron golem now, the skeleton will shoot at him, and he will try to get at the skeleton to defend, and he will die. I will just quickly create an iron golem to show you how that works. And the skeleton sees him, he shoots him, and he falls in, going down to the lava. Now, if you do have a problem with these guys not getting the lava, which obviously he is because he's trying to get to the skeleton, this one fell in here on his own, so he's not signed if you want to do it that way. But that is it. I personally like to go through and add in some glow. That is what I like to do for lighting it up. But as I stacks of iron in a day, it could get more, it could get less. But like I said, I've tested it in a number of different places. For some reason, whenever I built it over a river, it worked best. But I built it on islands, it didn't work. I've built it in plains, and it didn't work. But I built it in a bunch of places, and yeah, that is it. Those are the 2 designs for iron golem farms.